I hit start record, right? That is a thing I did, didn't it? There you go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I am here with something a little different. If you've watched any of my other videos, you're surely aware that I'm a huge simulation game fan. Sim racing tops my list. So today, I want to talk about the next level racing FGT Cockpit. So sit back and let's take a look at this budget rig, shall we?
Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour.
Thanks, Jim. So for the longest time, I used a DIY rig that my dad made me using some seats he pulled out of a project truck that he was working on. He made one for himself too. We logged a ton of hours in those seats, and it served me well for many, many years. As you can see, I still have it. This thing has seen a lot of wheels and has held up over the years. I love this thing. When I decided to start taking sim racing a bit more serious, I picked up an FGT Lite, bolted my G29 to it, and away I went. And that only lasted for so long before I wanted more out of my sim racing experience. It was time to ground up a whole new rig. Now please bear in mind that I am Canadian and this stuff is not cheap and can be somewhat difficult to find and to get a hold of. And of course, like anybody else, I was working with the constraints of a budget, just like anybody else. And working with a budget is what led me to the next level racing FGT Cockpit. While doing my research on what pedals to get, what wheel to get, what wheelbase, etc., I got the best I could, and to fit everything I wanted in my budget, I needed to dial back on the rig. With the limited options that were available to me as far as places that would actually ship to a rural community in Canada, the FGT came in at somewhat a decent price and had free shipping as well. On the site, I got the FGT from a rung up to just over 700 bucks, taxes in with free shipping, and plus they would ship it to me in the middle of nowhere. When I looked at a complete aluminum profile rig, the cheapest I could find was around 1,200 bucks before taxes. If I would have went that way, I wouldn't have been able to get all the things that I wanted to get gear-wise. The wheelbase, the rim, I would have had to downgrade those choices just to get an aluminum profile rig, and that's something I really didn't want to do. I wanted more so the gear. Bear in mind, we're just looking at the cockpit today. My wheelbase and pedals, etc. have yet to show up. Once those show up, I'll be posting a video about the rig as a whole. So for now, I just want to share my initial impressions. So for starters, let's go over what I like about this rig. And the first thing for me is this thing is bloody sturdy. It's built like a tank. I'm 6 feet tall, about 240 pounds, and it feels very sturdy under my ample frame. Which segues into another bonus for me. Now, I'll be putting a lot of time in this thing, and so I was worried about how the seat would hold up. There's something I noticed while putting it together. The 4 faux leather seat cushions come out quite easily, I might add. This is something I don't recall in seeing in any of the reviews that I watched or read. And with the price of replacement racing seats, this was a huge plus. I was worried about the longevity of the seat itself. In the event the cushions fall apart, and I'm sure they will, it's just the reality of it, I can easily have new ones made for a fraction of the cost of a new seat altogether. And for me, that's a huge win for this rig. Continuing on with the seat, some of the reviews that I went over about this rig said the seat is super uncomfortable. For me, I don't see it. My ass is happy in this seat. I find it comfortable, and I use the lumbar pillow that's included with the rig behind my neck. It works great in the formula position, which is the configuration I have this set up as. Now I know what you're probably thinking, those faux leather seats are probably hot as hell. Well, surprisingly, I don't feel hot, no sweatiness. Overall, I'm pretty comfortable. A million times more comfortable than sitting in the FGT Lite, that's for sure. It's also worth mentioning that the seat adjusts forward and backwards quite easily and smoothly as well. As far as assembly is concerned, it wasn't near as bad as the reviews made it out to be. But bear in mind, I've spent most of my life in trades. My last career before making the switch to healthcare was as a welder. So I have all sorts of tools and I'm good with steel. So this pitch will be whatever I want it to be. Assembly took me about 2 hours total, taking my time. The instructions were clear and straightforward for me, but but I can see how they would be confusing and clear as mud for someone who doesn't have the knowledge or experience that I have. If I can offer some tips, if you're looking to get this rig, put round washers on everything, like everything, especially the big square washers. Use the felt pad for the deck supports, the shifter support, and if you do buy the monitor stand add-on, use that as well. It adds a lot of extra rigidity. Oh, and you don't need to super torque down the bolts. Just crank them down until you can't move them anymore without a lot of exertion. Okay, let's chat about the things I don't like about this rig. And please bear in mind, these are more so minor gripes for me because I have the ability to easily chop this thing up and re-drill it if I need to. Like I said before, I have the means to make this bitch whatever I want quite easily. So initially I was going to take some time here to speak about how with the monitor stand and the strengthening braces for the pedal and the wheel deck, plus the shifter mount, this rig was way too crowded. Well, my ADHD kicked in and I realized that I left out the felt pads for the wheel deck and the monitor stand as they were sitting on my desk. So I wanted to put those in. So I took a break from writing this script and I went to put them in, which is when I noticed I had a little bit more room than I had realized. So I was able to scoot everything forward around another 2 inches and all was right in the world again. There's still a bit of room for movement if needed. Speaking of crowded, let's touch on the shifter mounting. This was something I had to modify right off the bat.
Sector 1 times okay.
So my rig is comfortably set up for me to use, but the shifter mount is roughly next to my knee, which is okay, I guess. Although I'd much rather have it somewhere around my lower thigh, not quite at my knee. Mounted on the seat rail next to me, that would be ideal. Given that I have the tools and the know-how, I'll probably still do this. But in its current position, I've had to drill an extra hole so I can have the shifter slightly offset on the mounting plate. If I don't do that and I use the stock holes for the Moses shifter, going into reverse is a bit of a pain in the ass. When shifting into reverse, the shifter knob would hit the wheel deck with a loud bang, usually banging my hand in the process. It'd be nice if there were other mounting options for the shifter, like on the seat rail next to me. Those are the only real gripes I have about this rig. Honestly, I'm quite happy with it. I feel, for me, it's what I need. This thing is almost perfect. 2 more paragraphs to go. I can't crack this one. It's that turn again. It's that fucking turn. It's always that turn. A turn is evil. In conclusion, I feel this is a great budget rig. Are there better out there? Yeah, of course there is. But it meets my needs and then some. I feel this is a great choice for my first big boy rig. So in my opinion, this is a fantastic budget rig. It is decently small footprint. It's sturdy as hell. It's decently comfortable. For the price you pay, you get a great rig in my opinion that should last the average user a very long time. Well, that's it as always. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, you're a champ and I love you very much. I hope to see you back for the next one. Remember, good luck, have fun. Your brakes are cold and so are your tires. So until the next one, enjoy life on the track and take it easy, eh? It's that turn again. It's that fucking turn. It's always that turn. A turn is evil.